So guys, Nelson at 305 here. Today we have a 2009 Mark V Jetta 2.5. Customers complaining that the battery is draining every couple of days after she leaves it sitting outside or just in her parking lot. We hooked up the multimeter here and we see that it's drawing about 100 milliamps when the car is locked and everything is off. It's been locked for about 30 minutes, so all the modules have gone to sleep. Shouldn't be drawing anything. Normal amp draw will be around 50 milliamps. Here we have 103, so it's a double. One way we diagnose this is we start pulling out the fuses and see when the amp draw goes down. On these Jettas, it's really common for the radio to draw too much power when the car is off. I know this from experience, so I just come over here. Let's say it's drawing, 600 milliamps right here. It's in line. The negative cable is disconnected. The power probe is in line. It's drawing 600 milliamps. We're gonna pull the radio fuse. Boom. And now it goes to 0.32, which is normal. Put it back on. Jumps up to 1 milliamp again. So that's the radio that's drawing it. With old age, the radios just, start staying on. The CD changer starts going off, stuff like that. That's customer complaint confirmed. We found the issue, and now all it needs is a repair. We're just gonna put a new radio in it and see what she thinks. Here we have a 2018 Volkswagen Atlas with the 2.0 TSI engine. The 2 liters are known for water pump leaking because they're made of plastic, the oil cooler failing, the gasket between the block and the accessory bracket, which is part of the oil filter housing. Over time, those gaskets just get really flat, start leaking out. Also, the coolant, because it's cooled with coolant, starts leaking into the oil filter housing and vice versa. The oil starts leaking into the cooling system. You get oil in your coolant bubble, just in all the hoses, and oil and rubber don't mix. They don't like each other. They deteriorate over time. If you leave it long enough, eventually all the plastic and all the rubber in your coolant lines are just gonna expand because they're gonna soak up the oil and they're gonna start cracking and breaking, and then you're gonna have coolant leaks. You can fix one and then next week you're gonna have another coolant leak and another one until you just replace everything in the cooling system. Oil filter housing bracket, it was leaking down the front of the engine. It was leaking into the cooling system. Since we're there already, we told them, listen, water pumps are already common too. We don't want to do the oil cooler. And then, 2 months from now, the water pump starts leaking. The water pump was actually leaking. Once I took off the intake manifold, I could see it from up top. It was already leaking. So any second now, I was gonna just leave them on the side of the road, which is not what you want. So we're doing water pump, a new oil cooler, water pump union, of course, then the oil filter housing bracket, gasket. That's so far it for this customer on the engine. Another thing these Atlases are really common for, their NQB chassis is the same as a Golf or, the RS3s even, they're all NQB, except this car is about 2 or 3 times heavier than a Mark 7 GTI or Golf R or something like that. But they still have the McPherson strut suspension, and it's a lot of weight in the front suspension. And what we've seen that's pretty common is when you hit a bump or something, the steering wheel kind of vibrates a little, kind of starts going crazy. But then when you're going straight, it's fine. Turning is fine. It's only when you hit a bump. What we found is the steering racks, since it's such a big, heavy car and it has big wheels and tires and stuff like that, the steering gear wears out. So even just a little bump will just make the wheels turn a little, and then it'll just kind of start teetering back and forth, and that's the play they get in your steering wheel. When you start driving, you get a lot of play. I'm not sure why they did that on this car. They should have gone to a multi-link suspension like the Q5s, Q7s, anything like that. That would really help a lot because it's a big heavy car that just has a McPherson strut. We're almost finishing here. We just got to put it back together now, do the steering rack next, go test drive it, make sure everything's good, no leaks, no weird vibrations in the steering or anything like that, and call the customer and tell them the car is ready.